I met a gypsy.
That was the thing that was funny with Mitch. Like, if you were doing your job, you're putting in the results, he didn't care what you did. As long as you put in the work, got that bike on the podium, he was happy. So it was good time. I remember
Yeah, well,
Mitch,
I think that was kind of the...
I remember Mitch always
go.
told me, he always told me, don't be doing none of this sneaking around shit with me. He says, if you're going to have a beer with me. That's what he says. And I'll never forget that. It was funny. So, no, I had a lot of good times with Mitch.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the thing about Mitch is like, he's a good old boy. Like Mitch, Troy Lee, like there's a bunch of those guys that are owning race teams in that world where like they know how to fuck. Like they've been there, they've done it all before. You know, like there's nothing that's new to them that they kind of haven't seen before, you know? Yeah, and I think I think Mitch was always like kind of that guy where he got it because he sort of did it himself a bit, you know?
Right, yeah. No, he definitely, you know, like when I was an amateur and I got that PC ride, like I willingly walked into his office myself, and I remember sitting in his office and he's got this big gulp cup and he sips it and he's listening to me talk. And I said, hey Mitch, like I just wanted to come in here and let you know I really want to ride for you, and I'm so nervous. Like I didn't not want to do this, but I knew this was something that needed to be done because I was killing it all amateurs. I was winning everything in 2009, and I was like, I'll do whatever it takes to be on your team, you know, just give me the chance. And he grabs his cup and he puts it down and he just does this. And then I'm like, are you going to say something? And he's just like staring at me. I was like, yeah, so pretty much that's just what I came to say. And then he goes, takes another sip, hasn't said a word. Like it's so, you could hear a pen drop in this room and I am sweating profusely. I'm like, dude, is this fucking guy going to say something? Like, and he just says, all right, well, thanks for coming in. I'm just like, dude, I'm walking out there like, fuck, I don't even know how that went. Did that go good? Did that go bad? But the moral of the story was I went in there, right? And I told him that I really, like, riding for PC was my dream come true. Like, I grew up watching RV, Townley, all those guys. I was like, that's the bike I want to be on. That's the team I want to be on. I had other offers from teams, but the PC era was like, remember back then, they were just...
Yeah, you were in it, bro.
Yeah, they were annihilating everyone. So when I finally got that call, it was just like, oh my God, it was a dream come true. It was sick. I'll never forget signing that first contract, and it was pretty cool. Cool experience for sure. And yeah, dream come true. So it was cool.
Did he call you? Like when you got the ride, he called you to tell you had the ride?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my agent, Tony Gardia at the time, he, I think, called me and said I had the ride, but it was like up to me. It was between me and Ryan Marias. So it was kind of tough because I think Marias had a really good year in 2009. So like, you know, then a rookie coming up, but I ended up getting it. But the thing was, it's so different now compared to how it was then. Like when I signed my contract, I think it was almost November. I'm sweating it. I'm like, if I don't get this ride, like all the other rides I've been offered are pretty much gone. Yeah. I put all my eggs in that basket, and then I'm just like stressing, like, am I gonna get this ride? And then I getting it. Now all the kids are like signed when they're on super minis, and I don't know, like that.
Yeah.
The only guy I think that kind of had the early ride was Barsha with Geico. But other than that, it was like I had to really work for that ride, and it kept me on my toes all the way to the, you know, better end. So yeah, a lot different now for sure.
That's probably one of the things that like just I've never thought about it in that way, but like when you explain that story, it sort of seems like that was Mitch's way to like really get people like committed and like interested, and like you said, it kept you on your toes till the 12th hour. So it's just like, I need to be, but if you sign a deal at 14 with Pro Circuit, you like think about what you miss in those years of like that, almost like the anxiety of like needing to perform and like, I'm sure that gets a lot out of a person than if you give them a ride at the younger age. I mean, there's probably like a pros and cons list that you could make where, you know, oh, you get more time on the bike, you get blah, blah, blah. But there's got to be something about hunger that you get, and like you said, all your eggs are in that one basket. And then I'm sure when you got that ride, like you took it crazy serious.
Oh yeah, no, that was the thing. Like '09, it was like, okay, this is the year. This is the year to make this happen and try and get on Mitch's team. And it was funny because Mitch would be at the tracks with his guys during the outdoors. And God, I hate when people do this to me. But I was that little annoying rider hopping in behind the PC guys. I'm like, I'm showing Mitch, like I can hang with these boys. And I used to do it behind Ratchery all the time. And it was funny. But yeah, it was like, dude, it kept me hungry. I knew myself, it's between me or Baggett, right? I had to beat Baggett. And that year I did. And it was just like, he didn't get the ride the first year like I did, but he got it the next year. So it was gnarly, like, cause my whole journey to that time was insane. You know, I came from Scotland, moved to Canada when I was 9, and that wasn't for racing. That was for my dad's work and just a different way of living. Cause my dad ran a kitchen and cabinet business in Scotland. So my dad just was a horse, and he'd be gone before I would wake up, and then he'd be back late at night. So I'd never seen him. Things got a little tough on the family, so they made a change to Canada, and they had the passports. So it was an easy move because he worked there previously. So we moved to Canada, and then, you know, I started writing, but I was writing in Scotland as well, but I was never that great. We never, the goal was never to be like pro. We just rode for fun, right? But where I started really getting better was the winters were so cold in Canada. We would come to California, and it started off with a couple weeks in the winter. And then the next year it was a couple months. And then I'm racing, and it's like I'm really starting to, get a lot better. So once I just started getting better and better, you know, we took it more seriously. And where things changed is in 2006, Dave Gowland gave me my first Team Green ride. And then from there, you know, I just moved up the ranks, right? It was 8.5s, and then super many, and then schoolboy, B class, A class, Mitch. So it's like just a big stepping stone, but I was never the winning guy. So that always kept me hungry. I was always working, and I wasn't the fastest guy.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.